everybody, welcome back to the show. This is the Mental Breakdown. I'm your host, Joey Velez. Today we're going to be talking about motivation, but particularly how they come in waves, right? Think about it. Have you ever had one of those days where you're fired up, ready to train or go to work? Right? Like you wake up energized, you're excited to get to practice or the gym or to work, and everything feels really easy. Then, just a few days later, you can barely convince yourself to put your shoes on. And what happened? Did you become lazy overnight? I mean, probably not, right? But the reality is that motivation isn't meant to stay at 100% all the time. Right? It naturally comes and goes. Almost like waves in the ocean, right? Some days there's high tide, some days it's low tide. And understanding that can completely change how you approach training and performance. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that they should always feel motivated. Right? Social media doesn't help because we constantly see videos of people saying that they're always hungry or always grinding, things like that. But that's simply not how human psychology works. Right? Motivation is influenced by a lot of things, right? Sleep, stress, recovery, nutrition, confidence, uh, recent performances, good or bad, even what's happening in your personal life. If you've had a tough week at work, you didn't sleep well, and had a poor performance yesterday, right, it's completely normal for motivation to dip. The
Right.
problem isn't that motivation changes, the problem is when we expect it to not change. Now, in sports psychology, we often look at two different types of motivation, which is intrinsic versus extrinsic. Intrinsic comes from within, right? You naturally enjoy the process. You love learning new skills, right? You enjoy competing and seeing yourself improve. Intrinsic, extrinsic motivation comes from outside sources, right? So like rewards, winning medals, making the team, getting recognized, things like that. Both types of motivation can be useful, but intrinsic motivation tends to be more stable over time because it's connected to the process rather than just the outcome. Even then, though, like intrinsic motivation still has its ups and downs, right? So, what do elite performers do differently? They don't rely on motivation. What they do rely on is systems. So, think about brushing your teeth. You probably don't wake up every morning feeling incredibly motivated to brush your teeth. You do it because it's part of your routine, right? The best athletes in the world build training habits that work in the very same way. They reduce the number of decisions that they have to make. Training happens because it's scheduled, not because they happen to feel inspired that day. This is where discipline gets misunderstood. Discipline isn't about being tougher than everybody else. It's about making decisions ahead of time so your emotions don't have to make them for you. So, one thing to think about is a strategy called the 10-minute rule. When motivation is low, don't tell yourself you have to complete the entire workout. Instead, commit to just 10 minutes. Tell yourself, I'm only going to warm up. Most of the time, what happens is once you get started, momentum takes over and you'll keep going. And if after 10 minutes you're truly exhausted and your body needs to recover, then stopping may actually be like the smartest decision in that moment. The key is making that decision after you've started, not before. Another strategy is to reconnect with your why. So asking yourself, why did I start this journey in the first place? Who do I want to become? What kind of teammate, competitor, or person am I trying to be? Those questions shift your focus away from how you feel in the moment and back toward your long-term identity. Right? Because motivation changes, but identity lasts. So if you see yourself as someone who trains consistently, then showing up becomes part of who you are, not just something you do when you're feeling good. So the next time your motivation drops, don't panic, right? It's normal. Don't assume that something is wrong. Recognize it for what it is, which is just a normal wave, right? Your job isn't to eliminate those waves. Your job is to keep moving through them. Because the athletes who improve the most aren't the ones who feel motivated every day. They're the ones who continue showing up even on the days when motivation is nowhere to be found. And that's what I have for you all today. Okay, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you as always. Don't forget to download, rate, review, like the podcast, share with your friends, and we'll do it again soon. Okay, don't forget today's a great day to make an impact on someone's life. All right, y'all. Have a good one.